Welcome to a journey where we don't talk about money through equations, statistics, or perfect financial formulas. We talk about money through human nature. The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel is not just another finance book. It is a mirror that shows us how our habits, emotions, fears, dreams, and childhood experiences shape our financial life. Almost every person believes they understand money because they use it every day. But very few understand the psychology behind money, and that makes all the difference. Morgan Housel begins with one powerful idea. Doing well with money has little to do with how smart you are and a lot to do with how you behave. This is the soul of the book. Financial success is not about IQ. It's about patience, avoiding greed, controlling emotions, staying humble, and making consistent, small decisions that compound over time. In this, we'll go deep into the first major ideas. 1. Everyone has their own unique money story. 2. Luck and risk. 3. Never enough. 4. Compounding. 5. Getting wealthy versus staying wealthy. 6. Saving. 7. Reasonable, irrational. 8. Freedom. 9. Tails drive everything. 10. Wealth versus richness. Let's begin. Everyone has a unique money experience. Money is not taught in school. Money is learned from experience. And every person's experience with money is different. That's why people make different decisions, not because they are stupid, but because their life context is different. A child who grows up seeing his parents struggle for rent will treat money differently than a child who never had to worry about bills. Morgan writes, "People do crazy things with money, but no one is crazy. They just come from different backgrounds." This single idea makes you stop judging others' financial choices. Example, someone who grew up poor may fear investing. Someone who grew up rich may take bold risks. Someone who saw the 2008 crash may avoid stocks. Someone who saw Bitcoin rise may love risky assets. Everyone is shaped by their timeline, not by universal logic. 2. Luck and risk, the two invisible forces in finance. The difference between success and failure is not always intelligence or hard work. It is often the invisible twin forces, luck, risk. People praise success stories and criticize failures, but Morgan reminds us, not all success is due to hard work, and not all failure is due to laziness. Bill Gates became Bill Gates partly because he was brilliant, but also because his school was one of the only schools in the world with a computer lab. His friend Kent Evans was equally smart but died young in an accident. Luck and risk, unplanned and unpredictable, shape two completely different outcomes. The lesson: be careful when judging others. Be careful when praising yourself too much. And always stay humble. Luck may have helped you. Risk may have hurt someone else. 3. Never enough, the curse of endless more. One of the most dangerous human emotions is, I want more. Even billionaires fall into this trap. They risk everything for a little more. Why? Because it's never enough. Morgan explains, having a goal is good, but not knowing when to stop ruins lives. People gamble their reputation, freedom, and peace just to climb one more step. Example, a wealthy hedge fund manager once lost everything because he wanted just a little more return. Even after hundreds of millions, he wasn't satisfied. The key lesson: the hardest financial skill is knowing when enough is enough. Real wealth isn't more money. Real wealth is peace of mind, time freedom, safety, control over your life. The moment you learn enough, you win. 4. Compounding, the most powerful force in finance. Compounding is not just a mathematical idea. It is the engine of all great fortunes. Morgan says, good investing is not about earning high returns. It's about earning good returns for a long time and letting compounding work. Warren Buffett is the best example. He started investing at age 10. By age 60, he had around $3 billion. But after 60, compounding exploded, and today his net worth is over $100 billion. More than 90% of his wealth came after age 60. Why? Because time made compounding unstoppable. Compounding teaches, Start early. Be patient. Stay invested. Avoid panic. Focus on consistency, not perfection. Small behaviors, massive outcomes. 5. Getting wealthy versus staying wealthy. These are two completely different skills. Getting wealthy requires optimism, courage, risk-taking, opportunity spotting. Staying wealthy requires humility, fear of losing, frugality, risk management, discipline. Most people can become rich once. Very few can remain rich. Why? Because after becoming wealthy, people get overconfident, greedy, careless, or aggressive. They forget that losing money is much easier than making it. Morgan says, be optimistic about the future but paranoid about the present. This balance protects you. 6. Save money without a specific reason. Many people think saving is for retirement. But Morgan says, save because life is unpredictable. Saving money is not just a financial strategy. It is a psychological shield, a freedom tool, a stress reduction mechanism, a risk protection habit. You save money so that you can survive emergencies. You can grab opportunities. You can quit when needed. You can say no to things you don't like. You don't need to depend on others. Savings equals control over your future. Even if you don't know why you're saving, save anyway. Reasonable, rational. Financial decisions don't need to be perfect. They need to be sensible according to your life situation. Rational decisions follow formulas. Reasonable decisions follow emotions, comfort, and practicality. Example, buying a house instead of renting is not always rational. But for many people, it gives emotional security, so it becomes reasonable. The same goes for keeping cash, avoiding too much risk, buying insurance, having emergency savings. Money is emotional, so your financial plan must consider your emotional comfort. 8. Freedom, the highest dividend money pays. The ultimate purpose of money is not luxury. The ultimate reward is the ability to do what you want, when you want, with whom you want, for as long as you want. That is freedom. That is wealth. Even if you earn less but have more control over your time, you are richer than someone who earns millions but is trapped in stress, deadlines, and pressure. Freedom equals the ultimate goal of financial success. 9. Tails drive everything. In investing, a few events create most of the results. These rare events are called tails. Example, a few giant companies create most of the stock market's returns. A few big decisions change your life. A few lucky moments create massive wealth. Morgan says, your success might come from just 1% of decisions, but you must survive the other 99%. This is why, don't panic during market falls. Don't exit too early. Don't expect instant results. Don't try to avoid volatility. You just have to stay long enough for the tail events to benefit you. 10. Wealth is what you don't see. People think rich means big car, designer clothes, expensive gadgets, luxury holidays. But that's not wealth. That's spending. Wealth is invisible. Wealth is what you don't see. Savings, investments, assets, emergency fund, cash flow, financial independence. A person driving a simple car may be far richer than someone showing off a sports car bought on EMI. True wealth is silent. 11. You are not alone. Nobody really knows what they're doing. One of the strongest illusions in finance is that other people have it all figured out. But Morgan Housel breaks this myth. Everyone is winging it. Everyone is dealing with uncertainties. Even financial experts don't know exactly what will happen tomorrow. Rich people make mistakes. Smart people panic. Professionals miscalculate. Markets behave irrationally. This is why the author says, don't compare your financial journey to others. Don't feel stupid if you don't know everything. Don't assume rich people always make wise decisions. Don't copy anyone blindly. Most people are figuring things out day by day just like you. Why does this matter? Because once you accept that nobody has everything under control, you stop being insecure about your own mistakes. You start learning slowly. You start trusting your own pace. You start making decisions based on your own life. And that's the only real way to grow. 12. Beware of extreme examples, they can mislead you. We love extreme stories. The person who became a millionaire at 21. The guy who bought Bitcoin at $1. The business that became a unicorn overnight. The investor who predicted every market crash. But extremes are rare, and they create unrealistic expectations. Morgan explains, extreme outcomes are interesting, but they are not useful. Why? Because they are not repeatable. You cannot copy one lucky trade, one perfect prediction, one magical startup, one crazy investment that blew up, one billionaire's path. Extreme stories inspire people, but they also fool people. Normal, boring, consistent behavior builds real wealth, not extremes. Choose principles over miracles. Choose sustainable over sensational. 13. The seduction of pessimism, why bad news feels more real. Humans naturally believe negative news faster than positive news. Why? Because fear is a survival mechanism. Our minds are trained to detect threats. That's why a market crash feels more real than a market rise. Recession predictions spread faster. Panic news gets more views. Negative experts seem more intelligent. People who warn us seem smarter than people who give hope. Morgan says, pessimism always sounds smarter than optimism. But here's the truth. The world overall gets better. Markets overall grow. Innovation pushes humanity forward. Compounding makes wealth larger. Yet negativity dominates attention. Key lesson: don't let pessimism guide your long-term decisions. Short-term news is noise. Long-term compounding is truth. 14. Reasonable optimism, the only sustainable mindset. The author says you need a balance. Short-term, be cautious. Long-term, be optimistic. This is called reasonable optimism. Example: a long-term investor believes markets will rise over decades. This is optimism. But the same investor keeps emergency savings, insurance, and diversification. This is caution. This blend protects you from disaster and keeps you open to opportunity. Optimism alone can make you reckless. Pessimism alone can make you hopeless. Reasonable optimism builds wealth. 15. History is messy, but patterns are clear. Morgan explains that history doesn't move in straight lines. It moves in chaos. Wars, crashes, booms, bubbles, innovations, shocks, recoveries. But through all this chaos, one pattern holds. Human progress continues. Example: the world has seen depressions, recessions, pandemics, and crises. Yet global wealth keeps rising. Technology keeps improving. Life expectancy keeps increasing. Opportunities keep expanding. So when you hear, everything is getting worse, remember, history shows the opposite. If you zoom out, humanity moves upward. 16. Survival, the only thing that truly matters. Morgan introduces one of the most important ideas of the book. You have to survive long enough for the good things to happen. This applies to investing, business, career, relationships, health, life. Survival doesn't mean playing too safe. It means avoiding permanent ruin, protecting yourself from risks that can destroy everything, staying in the game long term. In investing, this means don't take loans to invest. Don't chase unrealistic returns. Don't bet everything on one stock. Don't panic sell. Don't overtrade. Don't risk what you need for something you don't need. Your first goal is not to be rich. Your first goal is to be unbreakable. 17. Room for error, your safety margin. The author talks about margin of safety, a superpower for financial life. Examples: saving more than you think you need, investing less than what feels risky, keeping extra cash, having insurance, avoiding overconfidence, planning for unexpected events. Morgan says, the most important part of every plan is knowing that your plan will not go according to plan. This is not negativity. This is reality. Life surprises you. Markets surprise you. Jobs surprise you. Health surprises you. Room for error keeps you alive. 18. You'll change and so will your financial goals. People think once they set a goal, that's their forever goal. But human wants change. Your future identity is different from your current identity. Morgan says, long-term planning is important, but your beliefs and desires will change over time. Examples: when you're 18, you might want to be a millionaire by 25. When you're 30, you might prioritize stability. When you're 40, you might value freedom and time with your family. This is not inconsistency, it's evolution. The danger: people make huge commitments based on a version of themselves that won't exist later. So be flexible. Don't get trapped in old dreams. Update your goals as you grow. 19. The role of fees: nothing good comes for free. Every good thing in finance comes with a price. Stock market returns come with volatility. Entrepreneurship comes with stress and uncertainty. High career income comes with hard work and sacrifice. Investing comes with patience. Success comes with failures. People want rewards without paying the psychological price. But Morgan explains, volatility is the fee you pay for returns. Not a fine. A fee. A fee is part of the journey. A fine is a punishment. The stock market is not punishing you when it falls. It is simply charging its normal fee. Pay the fee. Stay invested. Enjoy the returns. 20. You and me have different goals, so never copy others. This is one of the most powerful chapters. People get confused because they copy others without understanding their background, their goals, their risk tolerance, their timeline, their responsibilities, their experience. Two investors may invest in the same stock, but for completely different reasons. Morgan says, beware taking financial cues from people playing a different game than you. Example: a day trader is playing a short-term game. A retirement investor is playing a long-term game. Both buying the same stock doesn't mean both should follow the same strategy. Your life, your game, your plan. 21. The man in the car paradox: people don't admire you the way you think. Morgan explains one of the most eye-opening truths about money and status. When you see someone driving a luxury car, you almost never think about the driver. You imagine yourself in that car. This changes everything. People don't admire you for owning something expensive. They admire the idea of themselves owning something expensive. Meaning, you buy a luxury car to impress others. But others don't care about you. They only think about how they would look in that car. This is the man in the car paradox. The lesson: spending money to gain respect rarely works. Respect comes from character, not consumption. People respect humility, kindness, work ethic, and authenticity. Not your watch, car, shoes, or gadgets. The moment you realize this, you stop wasting money to impress others. 22. Wealth is what you don't spend. Most people confuse rich with wealthy. Rich equals high income. Wealthy equals high savings plus investments plus freedom. Morgan says, wealth is the financial assets you have not yet spent. A man earning $10,000 per month can be broke, while a man earning $3,000 per month can be wealthy. Why? Because wealth is created by invisible decisions. Money not spent. Lifestyle not upgraded. Impulse not followed. Ego not entertained. Car not upgraded. Phone not replaced. Clothes not overbought. Wealth hides in your bank account, not in your outward appearance. This is the reason quiet wealth grows. Loud wealth disappears. 23. Save like a pessimist, invest like an optimist. This is one of the most powerful dual mindset principles of the book. To survive the worst, save like things will go wrong. To benefit from the future, invest like things will go right. Morgan says, short-term pessimism and long-term optimism can coexist. Life will hit you with job loss, medical issues, family emergencies, recessions, inflation, unexpected bills. So you prepare with savings, emergency fund, safety margin, insurance, low debt. But over the long run, the world becomes better. Technology improves. Markets grow, opportunities expand. So you invest with optimism. This is the perfect balance. 24. Reasonable goals beat perfect plans. A big reason people fail financially is because their plans are too perfect. They plan assuming markets will always grow. They will never lose a job. No medical emergency will happen. They will always earn this much. Inflation will stay predictable. They won't panic during crashes. But the world is messy. Morgan says, a good plan can survive reality. A perfect plan cannot. The key is, make flexible plans. Expect change. Expect surprises. Adjust your strategies. Keep room for error. Don't lock yourself into extreme commitments. Flexibility beats rigidity. Adaptation beats perfection. 25. You'll only understand money once you see it through time. Morgan emphasizes time as the greatest teacher. You may understand stocks in theory, but when you see a real crash, your psychology changes forever. You may understand compounding in your mind, but when you see money grow for real, you believe in it differently. Time gives you emotional understanding, patience, trust in the process, resilience, confidence, wisdom. Books teach you knowledge. Time teaches you behavior. Both are required. 26. The fallacy of I would never do that. Morgan explains that people often judge the mistakes of others and say, I would never take that risk. I would never panic sell. I would never fall for that scam. I would never overspend. But the truth is, you don't know what you would do until you're emotionally in that moment. Your behavior changes when you're scared, you're desperate, you're anxious, you're stressed, you're losing money, you're under pressure, you're influenced by others. Be humble. Understand that human emotions are powerful. Don't judge. Learn. 27. Fear sells, but you pay the price. News channels, social media, and experts constantly highlight danger. Market crash coming. Recession coming. Inflation rising. Dollar collapsing. Job market shrinking. Economy dying. Why? Because fear grabs attention. Morgan says, fear makes headlines because fear is powerful. But when fear guides your financial decisions, you lose opportunities, growth, compounding, long-term wealth. Panic convinces people to stop investing, sell early, hoard cash, avoid stocks, avoid risk, stay stuck. Fear is a tool used by media, but you must not let it control your financial life. 28. Stories, statistics. Humans don't remember data. They remember stories. Almost every financial decision is based on a story you tell yourself, a story someone else tells you, a story media tells you. Statistics explain the what. Stories explain the why. Example, you won't invest in stocks because someone told you their uncle lost money. That story is more powerful than any chart. You will invest in real estate because someone told you their house doubled in price. That story becomes your belief. Morgan says, stories are more powerful than spreadsheets. To change your financial life, you must change the stories you believe about money. 29. The psychology of enough, the most important financial skill. Morgan repeatedly emphasizes this principle. Knowing when to stop is a superpower. People often destroy their lives because they want more money, more fame, more status, more recognition, more possessions. And in the pursuit of more, they risk everything. Example, gamblers lose fortunes. Traders blow up accounts. Businessmen over-leverage. Investors chase impossible returns. The cure is simple. Define what enough means for you. Not society. Not your friends. Not your ego. You. Once you define enough, you stop comparing. You stop overspending. You stop chasing. You stop stressing. You stop competing. And that's when life becomes peaceful. 30. Your biggest enemy is your own ego. The ego whispers, buy it, you deserve it. Show them you made it. Upgrade now, you earned it. They should know you're successful. Buy bigger, buy better. But ego is the enemy of wealth. Ego creates unnecessary debt, lifestyle inflation, overspending, competition, stress, insecurity. Morgan says, your ego wants luxury. Your future needs freedom. Choose freedom. 31. The cost of being wrong. In money, being wrong once can destroy everything. One huge loan can ruin your life. One risky investment can wipe out your savings. One scam can destroy your future. One panic decision can undo years of discipline. That's why survival is everything. Avoid irreversible mistakes. Avoid permanent loss. Always protect the downside. Point 32. People overvalue short-term pain and undervalue long-term gain. Human brain danger-focused hoda high. Islai hum har small loss, small dip, small inconvenience ko overreact kar deet hain. But money me, 1 day loss doesn't matter. 1 month dip doesn't matter. 1 year volatility doesn't matter. But 20 years of compounding. That changes generations. Most people quit early because they feel the pain of loss strongly, but they can't see the reward of compounding. They panic because others are panicking. They react to short-term emotions instead of long-term logic. The truth: short-term pain is the entry fee for long-term wealth. You can't become rich without temporary discomfort. You can't compound without volatility. You can't grow without periods of fear. Point 33. Avoid financial heroism. Most people think big wealth needs big, heroic decisions. But the book teaches the opposite. No heroic bets. No extreme risk. No all-in moments. No perfect timing. No overnight brilliance. True wealth is created by boring habits, consistent saving, non-stop investing, resisting temptations, repeating the same sensible actions for decades. Wealth isn't a movie scene. It's a slow, silent, consistent system. Money rewards discipline, not drama. Point 34. The importance of humility in finance. The biggest financial danger equals overconfidence. People lose money not because they are dumb, but because they believe, I can't be wrong. I know where the market is going. Main smarter hoon sabs. But markets punish arrogance instantly. Humility ka matlab. Accept you don't know the future. Accept you will sometimes be wrong. Accept you cannot control markets. Accept luck and randomness matter. A humble investor survives. An arrogant investor gets wiped out. Point 35. Freedom from comparison is financial freedom. Comparison is the biggest enemy of wealth. You see, your friend buying a new phone, some influencer buying a car, someone going on luxury vacations, and suddenly you feel, I need it too. But comparison makes you overspend, overborrow, take unnecessary risks, chase lifestyle instead of security. Book ka golden line. Not feeling rich is more dangerous than not being rich. Stop comparing. Start planning. Your journey is yours alone. Point 36. Saving is more important than earning. Log bolt. Earn more, earn big, 10x income. But the truth, your savings rate matters more than your income. Why? Because income depends on market. Savings depend on discipline. Anyone can save. High income is not equal to high wealth. Low income plus high savings equals long-term stability. If you save aggressively, you need less income. You need less risk. You need less luck. You need fewer miracles. Saving is the ultimate financial superpower that anyone, anywhere, anytime can use. Point 37. Small habits build huge results. People search for hacks, formulas, shortcuts, but money grows through tiny habits. 100 Indian rupees saved daily life-changing. 1% improvement compounding. Small investments, huge future. Small disciplines, stress-free life. Consistency beats intensity. Small actions beat big dreams. Daily discipline beats occasional motivation. Wealth is made in small, repeated steps, not in one giant leap. Point 38. Your future self needs you. Most people live for today, satisfy impulses, chase comfort, avoid effort. But your future self is watching you. 10 years from now, you will either thank yourself or hate yourself. Your money habits decide whether you'll be free or trapped, peaceful or stressed, secure or panicked. Money saved today isn't a sacrifice. It's a gift to your future life. Point 39. Ignorance is more expensive than mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. But money me saps mahenga kia hoda hai? Not knowing. Ignorance costs more than wrong investments, bad purchases, temporary losses. A person who knows nothing about money loses more than a person who tries and fails. Knowledge compounds faster than money. Learning today saves lakhs tomorrow. Point 40. The goal is not to be right. The goal is to stay in the game. Money is not about making the perfect decision. It is about making sure you never lose so much that you are forced to quit. Most people fail because they blow up accounts. They take extreme risks. They gamble instead of invest. They try to get rich fast. They chase all or nothing. But winners stay in the game long enough for compounding to reward them. Survival genius. Point 41. Money requires emotional control more than intelligence. Market crashes, people panic. Unexpected bills, people stress. Friends buying expensive things, people copy. Salary increase, people overspend. Money is an emotional battlefield. Those who win are not the smartest, but the calmest. Emotional discipline is the greatest financial skill. Control fear, control greed, control envy, control impulse, control pressure. If you control your emotions, money automatically comes under control. Point 42. You don't need to understand everything to succeed. Finance deniya bahut complicated lagdi high, GDP, inflation, interest rates, derivatives, macroeconomics. But normal log in cheesin ko samajkar rich nahi bant. They get rich by saving, consistency, patience, long-term mindset. You don't need to know everything. You just need to avoid stupidity. Simplicity defeats complexity in money. Point 43. Most financial mistakes come from impulse, not need. People rarely lose money because they needed something. They lose money because they wanted something. Impulse buying, impulse investing, impulse lifestyle jumping, impulse showing off, impulse gambling. Impulse burns wealth faster than any disaster. Train your mind to pause before every financial decision. A 5-second pause can save 5 years of regret. White medium star. Point 44. Long-term thinkers win in every generation. Short-term thinkers panic, quit early, change strategy, copy others, chase trends, look for shortcuts. Long-term thinkers stay stable, stay patient, stay consistent, survive crashes, ignore noise, let compounding work. Every generation, the real winners are the ones who think in decades, not days. White medium star. Point 45. Your habits create your destiny. In money, habits matter more than luck. Habits matter more than income. Habits matter more than talent. Habits matter more than knowledge. Your habits decide whether you'll be wealthy or stressed, whether you'll be free or trapped, whether you'll rise or collapse. The life you want begins with the habits you repeat daily. White medium star. Point 46. The final truth. Money is not the goal. Freedom is. At the end of everything, after all the lessons, points, strategies, the book teaches one final idea. The real goal of money is control over your time. Not cars, not luxury, not status, not showing off. Real wealth equals waking up whenever you want, working if you want, taking decisions without fear, not being controlled by anyone. Total freedom of time, peace, and choices. That is the ultimate psychological victory. And finally, after all these lessons, all these insights, and all the truths about how money really works, we arrive at one simple realization. Money was never the final goal. You were. Your choices, your habits, your freedom, your future. The psychology of money teaches us that real wealth isn't measured in numbers. It is measured in mindset, in how you think, how you behave, how you respond to risk, uncertainty, and temptation. Throughout this journey you've learned. Luck matters, but behavior matters more. Income is important, but saving is powerful. Risk is real, but panic is optional. Comparison steals joy, but discipline builds peace. Wealth is silent, showing off is loud. And compounding is the closest thing to magic we will ever experience. If you understand these lessons today, you're no longer a slave to money. You're on your way to becoming its master. Remember this, you don't need to impress the world. You need to free yourself from it. The purpose of money is not to make people admire you. The purpose of money is to give you the power to live life on your own terms. A life where no one controls your time, no one controls your decisions, no one controls your dreams. A life where you wake up every morning with one simple feeling. I am free. That is the real ending of the psychology of money. That is its true reward. Not luxury, but liberation. Not status, but serenity. Not more things, but more time. So take these lessons. Apply them. Repeat them. Live them. Because the moment you master your behavior, you master your money. And the moment you master your money, you master your life.